The putting on a spout has similar qualities to putting on a handle, because remember that idea of putting the handle behind here and closing one eye and seeing the profile? We have to do that with the spout as well. Over here you can kind of see where a water line might be and why the tip of the spout needs to be upright. It's practically a 45-degree angle. That's why you have extra stuff down here in order to cut off. So I'm closing one eye. I'm going to take a fettling knife and rub it against the teapot and make a mark where I feel like is a good place to cut this out. I like to include some of the belly, and I want to make sure the top of it is a little bit lower, just a little bit off of here, so the lid does not, and I know I'm going to cut some off right here too. So first I'm going to make this mark. That mark is where I'm going to cut the rim off. Jasmine, thank you. Okay. Then I can come back here, get that mark back in place. I'm going to just score a little bit of a line so I can kind of see where I need to cut it off. So you can see that line right there, right? Now, if it's soft enough, which I think this one is, I can take a fettling knife, find the blade side. I'm going to try to make a similar mark over on that side. Just kind of roll it. Ooh, I got lucky. That looks pretty symmetrical. So as I carefully kind of hack my way through this, I can try to stay right on this line. There. And there's going to be a lot of like little custom cutting. And I know this is going to have to go that way a little bit, and this one comes around this way a little bit. I'm still trying to keep it kind of symmetrical. And I've made this a couple days ago, so I had to really make sure to check on it. I did add a little bit of water to it one time and kept it wrapped up in plastic, kind of like after it got firm, I really wrapped it up in plastic so it didn't dry out at all. Now there's a whole bunch of testing and shaving. You can see how ugly it is right here, right? That attachment spot. Now it's a lot of, and I'm going to shave off some of the inside of it. Not the whole thing, but the inside, because we have to make this attachment fit something that is round this way and also round that way. So, and again, this clay is soft enough where I can do a little bit of finger manipulation after I do some carving as well. So it's a lot of this. If you feel like this is a little on the dry side, really get your fingers in some water and keep it from drying out. Okay, so just doing that made it a little bit tighter of a fit probably. Let me look, a little bit better right there. Oops, and I need to, okay. And again, you need to think about, don't you dare put it down here, obviously, right? It's gonna spill out. And I wanna think of it going straight this way. You always have to check to make sure it's not tilting too much. Now I can probably start to pinch and manipulate this to get it to be a better fit. And I'm gonna kind of smooth this out so I don't have little air bubbles happening. I have a little part here that's kind of has a little bump there. Okay, now when I do start to attach it, I'm not gonna make you sit and watch me attach it, but I'll make sure you have the idea, because you guys have scored and attached things before, and I'm not gonna make you watch me do that part. But it should be, let's go that way a little bit. It should look like a pretty close fit. After I score and attach it, I will be doing a lot of blending, okay, after that. Now I want to look at the up here, and I need to do the same thing, kind of as evenly as I can. gonna slice through this. I'm trying to support the clay here so I don't break off a big chunk of clay. Now, I like to kind of think of this as something that will be parallel to the ground, but it doesn't matter if it's not quite.
I was hella gonna put bubbles in their like party bags.
So let's get it this way, get it square. You know, that's a pretty good angle right there. If it's a little bit up or if it's that angle's a little bit down, it's okay. And again, it looks kind of, you would not leave it like this. I'm going to do a lot of trimming off the corners, using a paintbrush to clean it off, and using a fingertip to make it look, you know, kind of nice and round and like a nice rim. Okay, so I'm going to be doing lots of touch up, and I'll come by and show you when I'm done. Okay. However, now we need to plan where the hole gets cut in the teapot. Okay. Now there are a couple ways that people do this. You can either cut one big hole, which is what I'm going to do, or you can cut multiple holes, which a lot of people do that too. You'll see it either way. If you were to look online and see how people attach teapot spouts, you might see both ways. So this has a nice big belly under there. Okay. Now you need to look at the thickness of the clay, the wall, and I'm going to estimate that and draw a line inside of here to where I'm going to cut it off. So that thickness that I just drew right there is pretty close to the thickness here. That tells me that hole is going to fit pretty nicely to the edge of this. Now we take our sharp tool or scoring tool, and just like I was telling the hand builders to cut off the lid of their pot, you probably don't want to just hack your way through this. Kind of find that line, initially make a cut, and then start to go deeper, and it might take you a couple times to go around and do that. Get through there. Almost, and again, guys, keep this pot definitely moist, leather hard, so you can attach clay to it. Keep it wrapped up. You may have to add a little bit of water to it occasionally, and keep it wrapped up. Don't let it dry out at all. If you can't cut through it, you let this get way too dry. Now watch this little trick. It's kind of stubborn, so I'm going to slice it in half and maybe just push that part through. Okay? Before you put this, your spout on, you want to clean this up and clean up the inside as well. A little bit of trimming, definitely a little bit of moist finger, and I will do that a little bit more too. But I want this to go a little faster for you, so I'll just kind of do this side. So you want this to be nice and clean. Right now we can gather this back up, and again, I'm just going to describe a few things. I'm going to score the heck out of it right here. I'm going to score the heck out of it right there. I'm going to make sure that it is level. Actually, and before I score it, I'm going to clean this up too. Okay, score the heck out of it, score the heck out of it. After I give it a little push and squish, and make sure you support it on the inside when you kind of give it a little push, that's the time I lay it in my lap again to do some of the first blending. Might be pretty rough. That's totally fine. Then do some finger blending, then get a paintbrush to kind of smooth it all out. Okay? So that's the basic process. And again, don't leave it looking like that. You have to get everything to have a nice edge. All right, does that kind of make sense? Now, this has to be covered in plastic. Give it a little sprinkle, cover it in plastic, because we still need to add a handle. Okay, you still can't let it dry out. And then I still have to trim the lid and make sure that fits. And there's another quick little demo about the lid as well. Coolio?